Welcome. Welcome to the ninth lecture of probability theory. Let us see some of the examples. There are two bags. The first contains two red and one white ball, whereas the second bag has only one and two white balls. One ball is taken out at random from the first bag and is being put in the second. Then a ball is chosen at random from the second bag. What is the probability that this last ball is red? Let us see. The probability of taking out a red ball from the first bag and also the red ball from the second bag after putting the red ball drawn from the first bag into the second is equal to 2 by 3 multiplied by 2 by 4, which is equal to 4 by 12. This can be one of the way of doing it, one of the option. The another option is the probability of taking out a white ball from the first bag and then red ball from the second bag after putting the white ball drawn from the first bag into the second, which is equal to 1 upon 3 multiplied by 1 upon 4, which comes to 1 by 12. Since these two events are favorable as per the requirement of the question, but mutually exclusive, so the required probability is 4 by 12 plus 1 by 12. Multiplication sign is faulty here. It should be added because they are mutually exclusive. Mutually exclusive, at that time sum is to be made. So 4 by 12 plus 1 by 12 becomes 5 by 12. Right? A bag contains 3 red and 7 black balls. Two balls are drawn at random without replacement. Without replacement means dependent. If the second selection is given to be red, what is the probability that first is also red? Let us suppose event A is a red ball is selected at first draw, and event B, a red ball is selected at second draw. Then probability of A intersection of B is probability of getting a red in the first and red in the second becomes 3 up by 10 multiplied by 2 by 9. It is 2 by 9 as 2 becomes favorable as first red ball is already selected. So 3 minus 1 becomes 2 and 10 minus 1 becomes 9, so it is 2 by 9. Simplifying it, it comes to 1 upon 15. Right? And probability of B is, actually it is sum of two. Probability of red ball and a red ball, or probability of black ball and a red ball. So two probabilities are being summed up. Probability of in the first attempt red ball and in the second attempt again a red ball, or it can be probability of a first attempt is black and second attempt is red. All the probabilities are known to us. 3 upon 10 multiplied by 2 by 9, that is what we have found just now. Similarly, we can get a black and then a red. 7 upon 10 multiplied by 3 upon 9. Now simplifying it, it comes to 3 upon 10. Now the required probability is probability of A where B already occurred. That is nothing but probability of A intersection of B divided by probability of B. Now both these probabilities are known to us. 1 upon 15 divided by 3 upon 10 comes to 10 upon 3 multiplied by 15. Further simplifying it, it comes to 2 by 9. And that is the required probability. Next example. Box A contains 3 red balls and 2 black balls. And box B contains 2 red and 3 black balls. One ball is drawn from box A and placed in box B. Then One ball is drawn at random from box B and placed in box A. Find the probability that the composition of the balls in the two boxes remains unaltered. Very intelligent question. Just think it off. Let us suppose event A is red ball is transferred from bag A to bag B. Let us suppose event B is black ball is transferred from bag A to bag B. Now a reverse process from bag B to A. Red ball is transformed from bag B to bag A, and let us suppose event D is black ball is transferred from bag B to bag A. Now think of what the probability required. So probability of A is 3 upon 5, probability of B is 2 upon 5, probability of C where A already occurred is 3 upon 6, and probability of D where B already occurred is 4 by 6. Now all these probabilities are known to us. The required probability is probability of A multiplied by probability of C where A already occurred plus probability of B multiplied by probability of D where B already occurred. This plus sign is just because of any one of these two things may happen, right, to make it unaltered. All these probabilities are known to us. So 3 upon 5 multiplied by 3 upon 6 plus 2 upon 5 multiplied by 4 by 6, it comes to 17 by 30. And that is the required probability. Right? Next example. What is the probability that over a 2-day period the number of requests would either be 11 or 12 if at a motor garage the records of service requests with their probabilities are given below? If daily demands are 5 with the probability 0.25, daily demands are 6 probability of 0.10. The required probability is 1 or 12. Can be listed as under probability of 5 multiplied by probability of 6 plus probability of 6 multiplied by probability of 5. Naturally, this sum is because of whether 5 6 or 6 5. That makes it 11. All these probabilities are known to us. By making a product and a summation, ultimately it comes to 0.1625 plus 0.1625. Now probability of 12 service in a 2-day period is as under, it can be 5 7 or 7 5 or 6 6. These are the three different ways. Again, all these probabilities are known to us. Simplifying it, it comes to 0.4725. Now the connector is OR. Whenever connector is OR, sum is to be made. So the probability of 11 or 12 service requests over a 2-day period is 0.3250 plus 4725 comes to 0.7975. Clear? Let's have one more example. Three newspapers A, B and C are published in a certain city. It is estimated from a survey of the adult population 20% read A, 16% read B, 14% read C, 8% read both A and B, 5% read both A and C, 4% read both B and C, and 2% read all three. The required probability is what percentage reads at least one of the papers. Second one is, of this that read at least one, what percentage reads both A and B? Let us see one by one. At least one. At least one. Word is at least. So union, right? Required probability is probability of A union B union C, which is nothing but probability of A plus probability of B plus probability of C minus probability of A intersection of C minus probability of B intersection of C minus probability of A intersection of C plus probability of A intersection B intersection C. Simplifying it, it comes to 0.35. Converting it in a percentage format, it comes to 35. 35% of the people read at least one of these three newspapers. Right? The other probability which is required is probability of A union B divided by probability of A union B union C, which is 0.08 divided by 0.35. Converting it in a form of percentage, multiplying it by 100, it comes to 22.86%. To make it round off, it given that 5 airlines provide service between Delhi and Jaipur, in how many distinct means different ways can a person select airlines from a trip from Delhi to Jaipur and back, if he must travel both the ways by the same airline? And the another one, he travels from Delhi to Jaipur by one airline and returns by another one. Fine enough, let us see. Think of it as it is happening with you, right? That will make all the options very clear in your mind. First, since the person travels from Delhi to Jaipur and back by the same airline, therefore he can select any one airline, but out of 5 airlines, and the number of ways of selecting an airline is 5. Since the person travels from Delhi to Jaipur by one airline and returns by another, so there are 5 ways of selecting one airline from Delhi to Jaipur. Hence the number of ways of selecting airline for return would be 4. Right enough. So the number of ways of selecting airlines for a trip from Delhi to Jaipur such that both the ways he travels in different airline becomes 5 multiplied by 4 becomes 20. Right? Next example. If A is the event of getting a prize on the first punch and B be the event of getting the prize on the second punch, calculate the probabilities of getting 2 prizes taking 2 punches on a punch board which contains 25 blanks and 10 prizes. First of all, try to understand the question itself. On a punch board, there are 25 blanks and 10 prizes, right? Just think of it. And 2 punches on a punch board is to be taken care of. The first prize can be won in 10 ways, then remaining 9 prizes. So the second prize can be won in 9 ways. There is a mistake here. It is not 4, it is 9. Thus, there are 10 multiplied by 9, 90 ways of winning 2 prizes. Fine. Since there are 35 punches on a punch board, there are 35 ways of selecting first punch and 34 ways of selecting the second punch. So there are 35 multiplied by 34, which is 1190 ways of selecting 2 punches. So the probability of winning 2 prizes are very simple. It is 90 upon 1190. Simplified, 0.0756 becomes the answer. Clear? A bag contains 4 white and 3 black balls. Two drawings of two balls are made such that balls are replaced before the second trial, and the another example is balls are not replaced before the second trial. Find the probability that the first drawing will give 2 white and second 2 black balls in each case. First of all, to understand this problem, you must visualize that it is happening in front of you. Once you visualize it, it is happening in front of you, all the options may come in your mind automatically. Right? Just think of it is happening in front of you. Let us address the first. When balls are replaced, since it is replaced, it means it is independent. Okay. Total number of balls in a bag are 4 plus 3, 7. Two balls can be drawn from 7 ball in a 7C2 different ways. 7C2 means C is combination, right? Okay. Two balls can be drawn from 4 in 4C2 different way. Two balls can be drawn from 3. What I am talking about is black ball. That can be done in a 3C2 different way. That is why the probability of drawing 2 white at the first trial is 4C2 divided by 7C2, which comes to 6 by 21. And the probability of 2 black at the second trial, probability becomes 3C2 divided by 7C2. Simplifying it, it comes to 3 upon 21. So the probability of the compound event is 6 upon 21 multiplied by 3 by 21 comes to 2 by 49, which is equal to 0.041. Is it clear? I hope it is clear. Now let us address the second part of it. When balls are not replaced. Two white balls can be drawn in a 4C2 different way. So the probability of drawing 2 white at the first trial becomes 4C2 divided by 7C2, which comes to 6 by 21, which will remain as it is in the last example. When the white balls have been drawn and not replaced, now the bag contains 2 white and 5 red balls. Naturally 2 less balls will be there. Therefore, at a second trial, 2 balls can be drawn in a 5C2 different ways and 2 balls can be drawn in a 3C2 different way. So the probability of red at the second trial comes to 3C2 divided by 5C2. That comes to 3 by 10. And in that case, the compound probability becomes 6 upon 21 multiplied by 3 by 10, which is equal to 3 upon 35, and which comes to 0.086. Right? Let us have one more example. A subcommittee of 6 members is to be formed out of a group consisting of 7 men and 4 ladies. Calculate the probability that the subcommittee will consist of exactly 2 ladies, at least 2 ladies, and at the most 2 ladies. All these 3 probabilities are to be found of. Let us see. Let us address the first one. Exactly 2 ladies means 2 ladies and 4 men. Okay. 2 ladies out of 4 can be found in a 4C 2 different ways. 4 men out of 7 can be found in a 7C 4 different ways. Total members are 6 out of 11 can be found as 11C 6 ways. So the required probability is very simple. 4C2 multiplied by 7C4 divided by 11C6. Simplifying it, it comes to 210 divided by 462, which is equal to 0.455. Right? It was very simple. Now think of at least two ladies. At least two ladies means two or more. The maximum number of ladies are four, so all these three possibilities are to be thought of. So two ladies, four men, or it can be three ladies, three men, or it can be four ladies, two men. Now get an individual probability of them. Probability of two ladies and four men becomes 4C2 multiplied by 7C4 divided by 11C6. Simplifying it, it comes to 0.455. Whereas probability of three ladies and three men, 4C3 multiplied by 7C3 divided by 11C6. Simplifying it, it comes to 0.303. And probability of four ladies plus and two men becomes 4C2 multiplied by 7C2 divided by 11C6, and simplifying it, it comes to 0.045. When I said at least, so naturally any one of these three occurs. Any one of these three means connector is or, that means it is being added. So all these three probabilities will be added. 0.455 plus 0.303 plus 0.045. Ultimately, the sum becomes 0.803. Right? Second alternate can be thought as 1 minus probability of 0 ladies and 6 men plus probability of 1 lady and 5 men. There it was at least. So now think of 1 minus probability of at most. At most means lower than 2. Lower than 2 means 1 lady and 0 lady becomes the option. Okay. So it can be 1 minus 7C0 divided by 11C6 plus 4C11 multiplied by 7C5 divided by 11C6. Simplifying it, it comes to 1 minus 0.015 plus 0.182. Deducting it, it comes to 0.803, which is as same as of the last sum. So one can approach this example with any one of these two different ways. I have discussed both the option, but you have to opt any one of these two alternate, right? Okay. Now the third case is at the most two ladies. So probability of R is 0, R is 1 and R is 2 means these are the three different options. These three options can be done as 4C0 multiplied by 7C6 divided by 11C6 plus 4C1 multiplied by 7C5 divided by 11C6 plus 4C2 multiplied by 7C4 divided by 11C6. All these three possibilities are being checked off and they are being summed up. Further simplifying it, it comes to 301 upon 462 and which comes to 0.652. Is it clear? I hope it is clear. Next example. There are 3 economists, 4 engineers, 2 statisticians and 1 doctor. A committee of 4 from among them is to be formed. Find the probability that the committee consists one of each kind. There is a mistake. It is not kid, it is kind. Second one, has at least one economist. Means at least one economist can be one or more. Right? Third one, has a doctor as a member and 3 any other. Right? Okay, let us see one by one. One economist out of 3 can be found in 3C1 ways. One engineer out of 4 can be found as 4C1 ways. One statistician out of 2 can be found in the 2C1 ways. And one doctor out of 1 can be found in the 1C1 different ways. So 4 members out of 10 can be found in a 10C4 ways. So the required probability is 3C1 multiplied by 4C1 multiplied by 2C1 multiplied by 1C1 divided by 10C4. Simplifying it, it comes to 24 upon 210. Further simplifying it, it comes to 4 upon 35, which is 0.114. All fours are of different kind, right? Okay. Let us see the other second part of this example. At least one economist, that is nothing but 1 minus probability of no economist. No economist means economist is to be deducted from it. So 1 minus, this can be done as a 7C4 divided by 10C4 different way. Simplifying it, it comes to 175 divided by 210, which is 0.833. Right enough? The required probability. The last one was doctor was fixed and remaining whomever they are, out of which 3 of them are to be selected. That one can do it with 1C1 multiplied by 9C3 divided by 10C4. Simplifying it, it comes to 2 by 5, which is 0.4. Right? Which is the third option. Let us see one more example. A committee of 4 people is to be appointed from 3 officers of production department, 4 officers of purchase department, 2 officers of sales department, and 1 chartered accountant. Find the probability of forming the committee in the following manner. This is as same as of the last example, right? First one, there must be 1 from each category. It should have at least 1 from the purchase department. And the third option is the chartered accountant must be in the committee. Right? It is absolutely same as the last example. Let us see. 4 people must be chosen out of total of 10 in 10C4 different way means 210 different way. 1 person may be chosen from each category as 3C1, 3 ways, 4C1 which is 4, 2C1 as 2 and 1C1 is 1 way. So the probability of forming a committee having 1 from each category becomes 3 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1 divided by 210, which comes to 24 by 210. You can further simplify it and you can get the ultimate answer. Let probability of A represent probability of at least 1 purchase officer being chosen. So probability of A complement is the probability of none being purchase officer in the committee. And in that case, all the 4 persons have to be chosen from other 6 persons not belonging to the purchase department, which may be done as 6C4, which is equal to 6C2, which is equal to 6 multiplied by 5 by 2, which is 15 ways. So probability of A complement is 15 upon 210, which is equal to 1 upon 40. And consequently, probability of A becomes 1 minus 1 upon 14 comes to 13 upon 14. Right? Let us have the third option. When the only chartered accountant is always included in the committee. So that is to be fixed off. We have to choose any 3 persons out of total 9 persons. That can be done in a 9C3, that is 84 different ways. So the required probability is 84 divided by exclusive cases, which are 210. Further simplifying it, it comes to 2 upon 5. Clear? It was simply a reciprocal of the last example. Let us have one more. A card is randomly drawn from an ordinary pack of cards and it shoots clubs, hearts, diamonds and spades. Then it is replaced. The pack is shuffled and another card is drawn. This is until 5 cards have been drawn. What is the probability that 3 spades will be drawn in the said 5 draws? Also find the probability that clubs will not be drawn in the said 5 draws. Two probabilities are required, right? Let us see one by one. All the time a card is drawn, the composition of pack of card remains the same because the card drawn is replaced in it. So probability of drawing a spade becomes 13 upon 52, which is 1 by 4. Let us say P. And not drawing a spade, which becomes reciprocal of that. So 1 minus 1 upon 4 becomes 3 by 4, and which comes to a failure, or you can say, let us denote it with Q. Hence, the probability of 3 spades in 5 draws is the term phi C3 P cube and Q square. If you just recall binomial theorem, by using binomial theorem, it is NCR P raised to Q, P raised to R, Q raised to N minus R. The equation is an expansion of P plus Q raised to phi. You know it quite well as binomial theorem is already done with some other faculty. Where P is 1 upon 4 and Q is 3 by 4, which is equal to, make it simplify, which is 5 factorial divided by 3 factorial multiplied by 5 minus 3 factorial multiplied by 1 upon 4 multiplied by 1 upon 4 multiplied by 1 upon 4 multiplied by 3 by 4 multiplied by 3 by 4. Simplifying it, it comes to 45 upon 512, and that is the required probability. If a die is rolled 3 times, what is the probability of phi coming up at least once? Let us see. The probability of die not falling with phi upward in the first roll is 5 by 6. In the second roll, again it would be 5 by 6. In the third roll, again it would be 5 by 6. Since all 3 rolls are independent, the probability of die not falling with phi upward in all of them becomes 5 by 6 multiplied by 5 by 6 multiplied by 5 by 6, which comes to 125 divided by 216. The required probability is phi coming up at least once, that is 1 minus probability of not falling in any one of. So it is 1 minus 125 divided by 216 comes to 91 upon 216, which is 0.4213. Right? Next example. A sample of 3 items is selected at random from a box containing 12 items, of which 3 of them are defective. Find the possible number of defective combination of the said 3 selected items along with the probability of defective combination. First of all, understand the question itself and then start writing. Total number of ways of a selection of sample of 3 items from the box containing 12 items becomes 12C3. So this 220 becomes exhaustive cases. There are 12 minus 3, which are 9 non-defective items in the box. So possible number of selection of sample of 3 non-defective item becomes 9C3, which is 84. Possible number of defective combination becomes 220 minus 84 becomes 136. So the probability of a defective combination becomes 136 divided by 220, which comes to 0.618. We can have another approach even. Let us see that another approach. Number of combination with exactly 1 defective. So 1 defective and 2 non-defective. This can be found with 3C1 multiplied by 9C2 different way, which comes to 108. Number of combination with exactly 2 defectives. That means it is 3C2 multiplied by 9C1 comes to 27 different way. Number of combinations with exactly 3 defectives means 3C3 multiplied by 9C0, which is only one way. So the possible number of defective combination becomes 108 plus 27 plus 1 comes to 136. So 136 divided by 220, and that becomes the answer, right? Next example. A bag contains 6 red, 4 white and 8 blue balls. If 3 balls are drawn at random, find the probability that one is red, one is white and one is blue. Okay. Let us define event A as getting 1 red, 1 white and 1 blue ball. So naturally, number of element in the set A, or you can say event A, becomes 6 1, 4 1, 8 1. This becomes 6C1, 4C1, 8C1. So it is 6 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 8 comes to 192. Total number of balls are 6 plus 4 plus 8 becomes 18. So total number of exhaustive cases becomes 18C3. So it is 18 factorial divided by 3 factorial multiplied by 5 factorial. Simplifying it, it comes to 816. So the required probability is favorable cases divided by exhaustive cases. That means 192 divided by 816 comes to 4 by 17. And that becomes the answer. Let us have next example. The letters of the word society are placed at random in a row. What is the probability that the 3 vowels comes together? Second example is, find the probability that in a random arrangement of the letters of the word daughter, the letter D occupies the first place. Third example, find the probability that in a random arrangement of the letters of the word institution, the 3 T's are together. Fourth one, N cadets have to stand in a row. If all permutations are equally likely, find the probability that, first one, 2 particular cadets stand side by side. Within that, another example is 2 particular cadets do not stand side by side. And the fifth example is 3 letters are written to different persons and addresses on the 3 envelopes are also written. Without looking at the addresses, find the probability that letters go into the right envelopes. Let us see one after another. First thing first, let us see one by one. First one, 3 vowels comes together. Number of element in set A, which is 5 factorial multiplied by 3 factorial. And total number of elements are 7. So there are 7 characters in the word. So it is 7 factorial. So the required probability is favorable cases divided by exhaustive cases. Favorable cases are 5 factorial multiplied by 3 factorial divided by exhaustive cases, they are 7 factorial. Simplifying it, it comes to 3 multiplied by 2 divided by 7 multiplied by 6, and which is 1 by 7. So probability of A is 1 by 7. Second one, that is falsely written as B. Again, it is A only. We have taken it as A. That event A is D occupies the first place. So the first place is fixed by D. Now, how many characters are left? There are 7. So number of elements in a 7, number of elements in set A becomes 7 factorial, and number of exhaustive cases becomes 8 factorial. So the required probability is Favorable cases divided by exhaustive cases. Favorable cases are 7 factorial and exhaustive cases are 8 factorial. Simplifying it, it comes to 1 upon 8. The third one. In the word all three T's comes together. Total number of characters which we have are 11. So number of elements where all these 3T comes together becomes 9. So number of elements in set A becomes 9 factorial, whereas exhaustive cases becomes 11 factorial. So the required probability is number of favorable cases divided by number of exhaustive cases. So it comes to 9 factorial divided by 11 factorial. Actually there is a mistake here. Just bear with this mistake. It is 9 factorial divided by 11 factorial. 9 factorial divided by 11 factorial is nothing but, if you just make it a simplification, it comes to 1 upon 11 multiplied by 10. 1 upon 11 multiplied by 10 becomes 110. So it becomes 1 upon 110. Right? Next is, two particular cadets stand side by side. Number of elements are n minus 1 and 2 cadets side by side, so it is 2 factorial. And number of exhaustive cases becomes n factorial. So the required probability is number of favorable cases, that means n minus 1 factorial multiplied by 2 factorial divided by n factorial. Simplifying it, it comes to 2 upon n. Similarly, they do not stand side by side, which is nothing but complementary of this. So it is probability of A complement is needed. Probability of A complement is nothing but 1 minus probability of A. 1 minus probability of A means it is 1 minus 2 upon n. Right? The next one. Let us go into the right envelopes. Look, number of elements in set A is 1. And number of element in total number of element, that means exhaustive cases are 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1, which becomes 6. So the required probability is favorable cases divided by total number of exhaustive cases, which comes to 1 by 6. Right? The next example, an urn contains 10 white and 3 black balls, while another urn contains 3 white and 5 black balls. 2 are drawn from the first urn and put it into the second urn. Then a ball is drawn from the second urn. Find the probability that it is a white ball. Naturally, this may have different options. Just think of it as it is happening in front of you. That will give you the all possible combinations. What are they? Let us suppose event A is 2 white balls are transferred from first urn to second urn. 2 black balls are transferred from first urn to second urn. 1 white and 1 black ball are transferred from first urn to second urn. And what is the required probability? Let us suppose event D is getting a white ball from second urn. Now let us think of its probability. Probability of A, which is 10C2 divided by 13C2. Simplifying it, it comes to 15 upon 26. Similarly, probability of B becomes 3C2 divided by 13C2, and that probability comes to 1 by 26. In the same way, let us suppose probability of C. Probability of C is 1 black and 1 white ball. That means it is 10C1 multiplied by 3C1 divided by 13C2. Simplifying it, it comes to 5 by 13. Now, probability of D, where A has already occurred, that is 5 by 10. Probability of D, where B already occurred, becomes 3 by 10. Probability of D, where C already occurred, becomes 4 by 10. Now all the probabilities are with you. So the required probability is whether the first thing happens or the second or the third. Since the connector is OR, it is to be summed up. So it is probability of A multiplied by probability of D, where it is coming from A, plus probability of B multiplied by probability of D, where B already occurred, plus probability of C multiplied by probability of D, where C already occurred. All these probabilities are known to you. Just put it together, make a multiplication and an addition. Ultimately what you will get would be 118 upon 260, which is 59 by 130, and that is the required probability. Right? The next example. A certain production process produces items that are 10% defective. Each item is inspected before being supplied to customer, but the inspector incorrectly classifies an item 10% of the time. Only items classified as good are supplied. If 820 items in all have been supplied, how many of them are expected to be defective? Expected means expected value is to be found of. You might have learned it with ma'am. Even though, let us say it, probability of defective item is 10%, that means it is 0.10. Naturally, probability of good item becomes 0.90. Probability of correctly classifying the item as good is 0.90, and probability of incorrectly classifying the item as good is 0.10. All these probabilities are given to you in the example itself. Now, probability of defective items where it is classified as good becomes, this is nothing but 0.10 multiplied by 0.10 divided by 0.10 multiplied by 0.10 plus 0.9 multiplied by 0.9. Thus, the expected number of defective items in 820 items supplied becomes 820 multiplied by this probability. This probability is 1 upon 82. So, by multiplying it, it comes to 10. Thus, the expected number of defective items in 820 items might be 10. That is what you can claim. Right? Let us have next example.